Good morning. I'm back in my outdoor office, on just a beautiful day. God doesn't make many days more beautiful than this one. Second cup of coffee in a Sasquatch mug. So over the last, couple of months, I've talked about a lot of really difficult or thorny theological issues out here on Wednesday mornings. Predestination versus free will. Can one lose one's salvation? What about the incarnation, the relationship between the divine and human in Jesus? Faith and works. And on, just a lot of really difficult ones. And for today, this one. Can you prove the existence of God? I suppose that most of you who are watching this believe in God to one extent or another. But can you prove the existence of God? So let's delve into that a little bit. First off, there have been several different arguments that have been proposed through the years for the existence of God. People have used several different means, tactics, if you will, to try to argue for the existence of God. And so I'll just run through some of them. One goes back to Anselm. He was a very prominent, really influential theologian of the 11th century AD. And it's called the ontological argument. And it runs something like this, that the very idea that we can conceive of a being who is greater than everything proves that thing exists. If this God that we worship and know didn't exist, how could we even conceive of such a thing? That is an argument that goes back to Anselm. Then there's the cosmological argument. And this is easy to remember. Cosmological, cosmos. So it's where you use the universe to prove or to assume a creator for it. If the universe exists, there has to be something else beyond it. Logically, you could not expect matter to be eternal, matter to be self-generating. There has to be something else beyond it. We can't understand matter as being self-creating, as matter as being eternal. So there has to be something outside of the universe that would have created it. Astronomers, cosmologists theorize that there was a Big Bang. So if that is true, then what was before the Big Bang? And then the third argument, teleological. And it's sort of related to the cosmological argument, but it works from a different angle. The cosmological argument is we see a universe, therefore something had to have created it. The teleological argument is akin to it, but it's not quite the same. It works from the angle of design and beauty. One of the philosophers of the Enlightenment had the phrase, "I see a perfect watch, I infer a perfect watchmaker." So we can look at the night sky and you see all of the stars. Or if you look at if you're in a dark area and you can look up and you see the Milky Way and you're just awed by that. we look at some of the pictures that come to us from the new Webb Space Telescope, and we're awed by that. We see such beauty in creation, such majesty, and we infer that there has to be, that couldn't have happened by accident. That could not have happened by accident. There has to be design to it and a purpose to it. The teleological argument. And then there is what is called the moral argument. There seem to be many common morals across societies and cultures. There are many things that are common to morality across societies, across cultures. How? Why? And according to this argument, the answer is that God wrote them into us. So we've got these different arguments for the existence of God. But to go back to the original question, can you prove the existence of God? And I would posit that the short answer to that question is no. There is no one foolproof argument for the existence of God. If someone wants to disbelieve, if there's an atheist that is dead set, there is not an irrefutable argument for the existence of God. If there were an irrefutable argument for the existence of God, I guess there wouldn't be very many atheists. And in the final analysis, in rock bottom, the existence of God is a matter of faith. Anselm, I referred to him earlier, is really famous for this dictum, faith seeking understanding. Faith is faith seeking understanding. That he has faith, and he is trying to understand. He has faith, and because he has faith, he wants to understand more about God. He wants to understand more about the way God relates with his people. It doesn't go the other way around. Understanding, seeking faith. We will never fully understand everything about God. We can't understand the mysteries of God. God is just a whole lot bigger than we are. And so we can never work at it from the vantage point, once I understand everything, then I will believe. Rather, we will understand enough once we believe. True understanding comes through faith. Knowledge of God comes through faith. The arguments are effective, and there is an amount of truth in all of them. And there are other arguments for the existence of God that, pardon me while the big truck goes past. There are other arguments for the existence of God that I didn't mention. The arguments are effective, but none of them are absolutely watertight and foolproof. And if someone is dead set on believing, or if someone is dead set on not believing, I suspect that there's not an argument in the world that can convince them to believe. Let's look at it this way. There are arguments for the existence of God. And these arguments can open up somebody who is... These arguments can work for somebody who is at least open to the possibility. They can work for somebody who is at least open to the possibility arguments for the existence of God, and really the whole doctrine of apologetics, which is the branch of the faith that deals with logical explanations and defense of what we believe. This whole idea of apologetics and these arguments for the existence of God, they are as much for we who do believe as for those who do not. They are as much for us who do believe to remind us that what we believe is logical. That what we believe is logical and makes sense and is trustworthy. So is there a foolproof argument for the existence of God? I don't think so. The existence of God and whether you believe that is a matter of faith. If you believe, you will understand. And you don't normally work from the other way. Our knowledge of God is always, at least in part, a matter of God revealing himself to us. Our knowledge of God is always a matter of him revealing himself to us, God revealing himself to us. God's self-disclosure, God's self-revelation. And the good news is that God does reveal himself. God reveals himself in innumerable ways to us. There is enough revelation there for all of us to believe. Because God doesn't want anyone to be lost. God wants all of us to know and to worship and to love. So that is some good news for our Wednesday morning. Have a great rest of your day.